So I says to Mabel, I says, yeah, I'll finish this later. Hello! Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. I am, of course, not Chat Show. Chat Show is in Las Vegas attempting to win $1 million so that he someday might be able to pay me for this. I really hope you win, buddy. That's correct. Kevin Pollak and the lovely Jamie Foxx are both in Sin City right now. Kevin is in some ridiculous World Series of Poker event that, mathematically speaking, he basically has like an 80% chance of winning, from the way I understand it. And I wish him nothing but the best of luck, and I know that the next time he is back here, he will tell us all about it, and I look forward to that. So, KP, good luck to you, and thank you for letting me take this show off the rails again. It's just me and the lovely crew this week. You got your Dr. Kenny Chen, you got your Mike Dooman, you got your Jason McIntyre. The lovely Samantha Ward has already taken off. She made us look pretty. If you're watching the show now and you're, I don't know, my mother, you're wondering why. Why is your ring finger and your pinky taped together? It's because I'm fairly certain one of these fingers is broken because it hurts like a motherfucker. So I'll let you guess which of the fingers you think it is. Submit your answers to my Twitter page. I'll let you all know if you are correct or not after the cast goes on. Let's see. Any new business? Yes, we have some new business. If you are inclined to write to us here at the Chat Show, and why the fuck wouldn't you be? We love getting emails. We love it. And by we, I mean J-Mac, who actually has to sort through all of them. Most of them are spam and pornography, but he still gets a kick out of it. So if you'd like to do that, guess what? We have a brand new email address for you. Brand new. And that is KPCS fanmail, one word, KPCS fanmail @gmail.com. Oh my God, we so look forward to getting the ridiculous pictures of animals fucking that you guys are so gonna send us. So thank you in advance for those. Let's see if there's any other business to attend to. No, none off the top of my head. So let's get right down to it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ahem. Our guest today is a personal favorite human of mine and quadruple threat. She can act, sing, improvise, and drink you under the table. She has a body of work with over 125 credits, all of which are within the last year or so, it would seem. She's the kind of actor that literally never stops working due to her talent, her dedication, and her inability to say no. She's worked with numerous greats, including James L. Brooks, Amy Poehler, Tim Burton, David Fincher, and of course, Lindsay Lohan. When asked to describe herself in 5 words, she said, tall person who likes wine. We're truly honored she made the time for us today, so please help me welcome Missi Pyle. Ooh, we got the leg lift. Thank you.
It's a real signature move.
And you, in Kansas City, you were rocking the leg kick.
Yeah.
All weekend.
Mm-hmm. I had surgery on it recently, and now I can do it again. But before, it's a really fascinating story.
It sounds fascinating.
Endoscopic surgery, really.
Did you really? You had surgery on it so that you couldn't get high
enough?
enough?
So I could do this.
Worth it.
I run a bunch of marathons.
Oh, and that's what running is.
This is running, and I had a labral tear, a torn labrum.
Ow. That doesn't ever feel good.
No, it's like a thing on your head.
Yeah,
every time I say a torn labrum, someone's like, "Oh, you tore your labia."
No, that's a different thing.
And I'm like, "Oh, yes, I did. It's too much fun."
Yeah, that's right. This is America. Gays can get married. Why can't the straights have sex?
That's right.
That's what I say.
Is this a sex? Is that what we're?
You were intimating. Sex.
I
was saying, don't.
I don't know.
Don't. Well, maybe I was. You know what? I was inferring it.
Right.
You might not have been implying it. And that's a lesson in English, for those of you at home. Well, we were in Kansas City together.
We were.
You and I. Was that a week ago now or more?
I think it was only a short week ago.
That was literally 7 days ago.
Literally, and it was a charity event
for the Children's Mercy Hospital of Kansas City.
And everywhere you went, someone just pulled back your hair and threw booze down your throat.
Yes, that is true. That was true not just of our charity, but in Kansas City in general.
That's true.
There is not a sober person walking around.
Not one walking around. And I'm just now getting my voice back from
you and me both. It's been an interesting week. Was that your first Kansas City trip?
That was my first one. Eric had invited me last year, Eric Stone Street, and then I couldn't do it, and then this year it worked out. This year it happened to work out.
That's good. And are you going to come back next year?
I mean, if I'm recovered by next year, I can try to come back. Although we did fly back on a private.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I saw the Instagram photos of the mini mayonnaise bottles.
I mean, they were like there was a lot.
Whose auspices did that plane come under?
Some charitable donor of sorts.
I see.
From the Kansas City area.
Wow.
And then somebody fell out. I mean, I don't know how I ended up. The pile was like, really? I got Missi Pyle.
Oh, stop.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They loved it. I'm sure.
Yes, it was the highlight of his year.
Probably.
No, but you flew into Kansas City from Austin, right?
Yes.
What were you doing there?
I was shooting a low-budget movie called Slash.
Ooh.
With some folks, including your good friend and mine, Mr. Michael Ian Black.
The best.
Super good times.
Yeah.
And that was what I was doing there, and hang out with my brother.
Oh, your brother lives in Austin.
My brother lives in Austin, yeah.
I know you were born in Texas.
I was born outside of Houston.
Raised in Tennessee.
Texas, yeah. My parents got divorced. It was
slippery slope, I see. All right.
But it's actually really great because I really liked. I really liked the high school that I went to. It was really good for drama.
Oh.
But it was really funny because my mom remarried this guy. When she remarried, she didn't remarry him, but when she got remarried, she married this German guy who had been a neighbor of theirs a long time ago, and like outside of Palatine, Illinois, I think, before I was born.
Shout out to Palatine, Illinois.
What's up, guys? That's where I was conceived. So.
This is gonna sound terrifying. I think I was also conceived in Palatine, Illinois.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding.
Are you making that up?
I'm not making that up. No, I was born in Park Ridge at Lutheran General, and my folks were living there. They were either in Rogers Park or Evanston or Palatine.
Should we call them?
They're watching. You know what? Text me. No, she's home alone. She doesn't know how to text. This is useless.
My mother does that. I just showed her how to text with Siri. So she and to use Siri, and she'll be like, Siri, could you please, if it's possible, I'd like to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Linda, this is how you do. You can ask me things like get directions. She's kind of a bitch to my mom.
Oh.
But it's really sweet. And she'll talk, hi, Debbie. That's my sister. Hello, Missy. You know, for a really loud, takes her a long time. Cute.
Have you gotten the thing where someone sends you a text message, but it's the little audio file? And it's like 30 seconds of them speaking into their phone that just gets sent as a text?
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm not sure why.
Why? We have voicemail already.
Right. Don't you feel like things just keep popping up on your phone and they're just, sliding them in there like you're not going to notice?
Yeah.
Without any oh, hey, just guess what?
Yeah, they slid.
Is it okay? No.
Yeah, they slid that little Apple Watch app into your iPhones while you were sleeping one night.
Exactly.
And I woke up and I went, this isn't going to make me buy the watch.
I feel upset about the Apple Watch.
What's upsetting?
I don't understand why. Does anyone understand why? Does someone have it?
Yes, I'll explain.
I'll explain.
Wonderful? I'll explain. Because this is so last year. Now it's this.
Oh. Yeah.
That's it.
What's...
Well, supposedly it does health things where it takes your pulse and your blood ox or whatever from your arm.
I mean, if it could stimulate me in regions.
I think this is a different product we're talking about that they haven't released yet, but they will now.
Vibrate.
It just occurred to me, I don't want my mother to tell me where I was conceived.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, they found me with the gypsies, and they just handed me over.
Okay.
And that was
that makes sense.
Yeah. That's what I think is the most likely scenario.
Yeah.
All right, as you can see, you keep glancing over. I've got my whole bullet points
Right.
of things we're going to talk about.
Well, I was going to tell you,
Please.
I
Oh my
liked
God.
my parents, my mother remarried this guy, Kurt, who was German, and then they they bought a house in a suburb of Memphis called Germantown.
Germantown.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to a place with lederhosen and, you know, people in buggies and Germans everywhere. But it was just randomly called Germantown. Like, I think he was the only German, and they had a really good drama department, so that was good for. And I went from being like one of 5 children to being like an only child.
Whoa.
Yeah, because all my siblings were older and they stayed in Texas.
I see.
So I went with my mom and the German.
Your mom and the German to Germantown. How is your German?
Mein Stiefvater ist Deutsch. Ich habe eine Kugelschreiber.
Yeah. Pen.
Yeah!
That means pen.
Oh, wait. Oh, so I love the word Kugelschreiber.
That is my favorite word in the German language.
Oh, do you actually speak?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I know maybe 6 words. You happen to get one of
got
them.
one of
That's
them.
how you come across like a smart person sometimes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in Germantown,
Uh-huh.
your high school theater director, Mr. Bluestein, if
Uh-huh.
I'm not mistaken, you credit him heavily.
Is he here?
Mr. Bluestein, come on, wheel him out. Can we wheel him out?
Because I am 100.
No,
Maybe.
he is not. You stop.
He kind of no. He's fantastic. Yeah, it was just one of those things where like I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid, and I'd watch like The Love Boat, and I was a big fan of like I just watched a lot of '80s sitcoms, you know, when I was. And I would imagine and I didn't understand how anyone got on TV.
What shows are we talking about?
Oh God!
Don't be embarrassed. This is a safe zone.
I was a
It's just-
big fan of Who's the Boss?
Sure.
Little growing pains. Probably every
Yep.
episode. Probably saw every episode.
Yep.
I think I even wrote Kirk Cameron a fan letter when I was like 12. And put it in like a lot of.
A lot of
I
hearts.
did not hear
stickers.
back.
Really?
Still waiting.
Still waiting.
Still, Kirk, if you're out there.
Hmm.
Although he's become a unique individual,
To say the least.
at least. I actually, yeah. So I have a lyric. I have this song called Armageddon Excited, which is I have this fake band called the Tumbleweeds.
We're going to get to the tumbleweeds.
Oh, all right. Anyway, there's a lyric about him in there.
Okay. Well, then you can save that for later.
I'm gonna let you guide this.
No. That's not how this
before-
works. This isn't me guiding. This is a conversation, and if we meander, I have bullet points to help get us back on track. But there's no set shit that we're supposed to talk about.
Oh.
We can talk about anything we
Okay.
want. We could literally not talk about you or your work at all for 90 minutes.
That would
be
be-
super fun for us.
It would be.
It would probably bore a few of our listeners. So, I mean, we're
Well-
not going to do that, but in theory we could, and I want you to know that.
My 7 fans
No.
are gonna be so.
No.
pumped.
No, I put out on the Twitters that you were coming on. We got lots of questions.
Are they all from the same person?
Nope, they are definitely not. I'm bummed we didn't get any T5s. Hey, if anyone wants to send Missy a tweet 5, now is the chance.
Oh.
Tweet it to at KP Chat Show, tweet it to me, tweet it to Jason McIntyre, and we will get it asked to Missy on the show today. That's a fun little rapid fire Coke or Pepsi kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm good at those.
Yeah, right?
Right.
There's no wrong answers. All right, so you're working with Mr. Bluestein, who's very inspirational.
Yes.
And helps put you on the right track.
He was, I mean, like maybe the only Jewish person in all of Germantown. I mean,
Bluestein?
surprisingly.
I
and
don't-
he was like one of the only liberals, you know. And he was just, I mean, I was terrified of him, but he was, I mean, he was, we had this drama department, we had our own television station, we'd have 24-hour, we were pre-CNN, 24-hour news network. And he just created this whole thing and got all of these kids to just kind of brought out the best in everyone. I guess we were all a little afraid of him too. But I feel like because of him, you know, I had an opportunity to go at least in this direction.
Yeah. That's where it starts.
It was really, yeah.
I can tell you all of my drama
Who's your
teachers who
favorite?
failed me and told me I had to stop trying to make people laugh and stop trying to make scenes funny and you have to take this seriously and all that. And I just remember going home going, nah, I don't think so.
Well, I'm assuming like you and I had a similar career, trajectory, because I mean, no one took me that seriously for the female lead because I was gigantic. I mean, I was just towering over.
For the record, just for our viewers at home, Missy is only about 5'7". I am 3.5 feet tall, which is the only reason why she looks so much bigger than me when we stand up.
Aww,
I want you to know that.
that's nice.
Yeah. So I did have a similar thing, but nobody to this day takes me seriously as a male lead, which is almost better in a way. Years ago, I was trying to explain to somebody the best part of being a character actor in a movie or a TV show. And I said, it's because the success, if the thing is successful, almost immediately someone will say, well, look at that supporting cast. How could it not be great?
That's true.
And if it's a failure, they go, they never should have let this guy be the lead in a movie.
Right,
Nobody knows
that's
who
so
he is.
true.
They
That's
never
so
ever
true.
blame the supporting cast for a movie
True.
failing.
I mean,
or
you
a
get to
show
do
failing.
whatever you want. I mean, you could be the shittiest, no one even cares.
Right.
Or let's say, despite, I mean, the movie actually, because there's a good supporting cast,
Yeah.
or despite a great supporting cast,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
You're
I mean, look at
right.
Seinfeld.
Right.
And as long as anyone was writing about that show, they said Seinfeld only worked because of the strong supporting cast. If that show had come and gone, all three of those supporting cast would have been fine, and Seinfeld just would have been a touring comic.
Wow.
They just would have put that on his shoulders.
This is.
So that's what I'm saying.
This is
We got a thing going.
Oh.
You don't want to be the lead.
Okay.
And trust me.
All right.
Don't do it.
Okay.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Look, we could, but it's better that you don't.
I've got this idea.
What do you got? What do you got, Missy?
It's just a love story
I'm listening.
with us. Somebody out there will write it for us, or
Where they've
all right, huh?
they've already got it written,
They
and they're
do?
just waiting for the two right stars to come along, and when they pass, then it's you and me.
And when they first 75 people
For
passed,
75 people.
then when they get to my name, after they go through that list,
Yep.
and then they go through the second list, and then they don't,
Yep.
and then that. But then when they go, but when they go through the next list,
Yes.
they will find.
Yes. You and I know this this is not even in my notes, I just remember reading your dossier. You and I get a lot of work the same way.
Because it's been
Because
falls
somebody
out.
got fired, someone at the last minute is unavailable, and they're like, oh shit, we start shooting tomorrow.
Right.
Who can we get who we know we've worked
know,
with
right?
before, like we know they're not gonna show up like an
Right.
asshole, but also is like, but
Wait
then it's
till
like,
after the day to get drunk.
right, but then it also doesn't look like, we just hired anybody,
Right.
and that's how I always feel.
Can we put that on our resume? When you don't want to make it look like you just hired anybody, Samm Levine.
That's exactly right. That is 100%
Missi Pyle.
what I need on my new headshot.
I'm still using a headshot from about 2006.
I don't use headshots at all. I haven't used one in over 10 years. Because you go in now to auditions and they just have your
they give
IMDb
you
Pro
IMDb,
resume
right,
printed out.
right.
So it's whatever photos attached to that.
Are you on IMDb Pro
I think I have the subscription, but I never update
with the
my
star
thing.
meter?
I don't look. It's painful.
It's the most
Yeah.
ridiculous thing.
Oh, am I the 8,000 most popular person in Hollywood this week?
Click on Sam and I's IMDb page.
Please click on
So
our
we can
pages. We
go
need
up
to
a-
jump up in the star meter ratings.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just here's the thing: when a new
I'm
production,
Not kidding.
when a new production happens, before there's any proper order for the cast list, it gets organized by star meter rating.
Right. I've
And
seen it,
so if someone like Parker Posey agrees to be in some indie, which she may or may not do from time to time, she might have a scene, and then you see it on the page, it'll be like Parker Posey, blah 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 blah, and so then people will ask her about it, and in interviews, hey, what's this thing? She'd go, oh, I'm in that for one scene. The director's a friend of mine.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like what, I mean, I don't want to, blow my cover, but that's kind of a lot. Like, I have 1,000 IMDb credits, and a lot of them are, where you come do 1 or 2 days. Like that movie I just did, this movie Slash.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally am in it for 8 minutes.
If I'm not mistaken, Academy Awards have been given to Judi Dench.
Oh, right.
For less screen time.
That's true. Oh, all right. Well, when I win, when I am nominated.
When you were nominated,
please go with me.
I will gladly accompany you to the Academy luncheon. All right. Well, I don't want to get too far off here. So, here's my favorite jump. So you do the high school.
Right.
And then you go to
North Carolina
School of the Arts, fine school. Mm-hmm. And then from there, things get a little weird.
Things get a little weird.
You make a pretty big jump.
I do.
In the preparation world, you find yourself in the UK, don't you?
Oh, well, I mean, that was like for summer.
I don't care.
Program.
I don't care what the program was.
Oxford
You
School
went to
of Drama.
the Oxford School of Drama.
Well, I don't want to brag.
Yeah.
Across the pond.
Yeah, that's how we wind up on private planes, is by going to the Oxford School of Drama.
Well, what's funny is, how did this happen? So I remember I went to this Oxford School of Drama and I took a plane, and for some reason I ended up, the girl I was sitting next to was like, this is pre 9/11 when you could go in the cockpit. Remember when you could go in the cockpit?
Sure, I used to fly planes when the pilot would take a nap.
Exactly. So this girl was like, I know one of the pilots, I'm supposed to go, so do you want to come with me? And we were like getting bombed on because they also give you free booze when you go transcontinentally, and I think I was like 21 maybe, I'm sure I was legal. But we went to go with the pilots, we went to go sit, and watch just a little bit, and then one of the pilots was like, why don't you come back for the landing? And I was like, all right. And so the pilot takes, so the girl next to me is like, he invited you. So then she's pissed. This is just some random woman. And then I go sit in the landing, and he's like, where are you going? I'm going, well, I'm going to the Oxford School of Drama. He's like, I am driving to Oxford. Why don't I give you a lift?
Oh, dear.
So, private plane, I got a private lift
from
the
pilot
to the
Oxford School of Drama.
Yeah, but he was like an older dude.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
Let him down easy?
Well, he tried to give me a lip kiss on the street of Oxford. I was like, listen,
yeah. And then did he get all like insolent? Was like, I flew you all the way here.
Yeah.
Like, this was not an easy trip for me.
Exactly.
You ungrateful.
Yeah.
Was that? Did he give you a little bit of
that? Yeah.
Shook his fist. Was it Andy Rooney?
It was. It was Andy.
I'm so sorry.
Andy Rooney.
Okay, but then the Oxford School of Drama. So then you finish at the Oxford School of Drama.
I went to the Oxford School of Drama.
Made your way to the big city.
And then I moved to the big city.
Yeah.
New York City.
New York.
I got a railroad apartment with like 3 friends, and like it was back in the day when you had to you get the Village Voice.
Sure.
Remember the Voice?
I used to sleep under copies of the Village Voice.
See, exactly. Yeah. So I remember they would come out that day, and then you'd have to get to the place, and trying to get an apartment was like an incredible.
Where was this railroad
This was on
apartment?
9th Avenue between 51st and 52nd.
That is not a bad part of
town.
town.
It was a walk-through 2-bedroom. It wasn't. It was.
No.
It was not bad. It was across the street from like Ariba, where I ended up getting a job. But the line was like 45 people, and we got there second.
Ooh.
And so you go in, and the guy's like, all right, if you want the apartment, you got to go up to 95th and such. So the first 2 people run out the door. And he's like, but wait, you have to have a deposit in cash. So it's like I have $300. So we were running, and everyone's trying to grab a taxi and trip the person next to them, and like you would get
Oh my God!
I'm like, you run off this way, and you get the cash, and I'll start signing the paperwork to my roommate.
Sure. And you got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I lived with a couple of friends and this one guy. I don't remember how he lived, but he was dating a stripper, and there was a picture of her, like in a thong and jade braces on the mantle. And she's very sweet. I mean, really sweet. When she came to town, we would go watch her strip, which
Oh, she wasn't a New York stripper.
No, she was an out-of-town stripper. Now she was very sweet. I think they even got married, those two.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's so sweet. It's
That's lovely.
It's similar to a what was that Julia Roberts movie? I can't even remember. This happens when you get older.
Pretty Woman?
Pretty Woman.
Okay.
But a stripper.
But a stripper instead of a
And not
prostitute.
a multi-gazillionaire.
No.
It's a guy living with 3 girls. But other than that, it's the same story.
Yeah. Is that near Restaurant Row where you live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 47.
Yeah,
right?
it's a little south of there, I think. You're closer to the tunnel.
Closer to the tunnel. Yeah.
The Lincoln Tunnel. See, I'm from New Jersey.
Tell me more.
So, no, you already know all this.
I know.
You know, and they know this. They don't need to know this. They're here to watch and learn about you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're doing the New York theater scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a role on stage,
Right.
a Steppenwolf play
Right. That was pretty
of,
big.
of The Libertine,
Yes.
and you are working opposite the Steppenwolf's own Johnny Malkovich.
Johnny Malks.
Johnny Malks.
Jams.
Mm-hmm.
Milks it.
Oh, boy.
Milks it.
Please tell me a little bit about that.
So, I don't know how I got this part. I mean, I remember I talked to the director, Terry Johnson, later because, so I auditioned in New York, and I think like Cynthia Nixon. I mean, there were some big people auditioning for it, and I was like 22, just got out of school, working at the Jekyll and Hyde Club is like a floating character with like a spider on my head called Prudella Demise for like $7 an hour, and I'd be like, ooh, and steal French fries when people, come through with like a thing of lip balm, and be like, lip balm, lip balm, for $7.
Nice.
Anyway, and I got this job, and I guess the director was in London, and this is back in the day when you had to transfer the tapes.
Oh.
So they sent him the tape across the pond, and he had
Sure.
to make a decision of these actresses that were all put on tape. And he said he had to make the decision quickly, so he went to like a TV store, and they like all the auditions were all on all the like where they were transferring the
Oh.
tape to whatever.
That's nightmarish.
So all of the tapes were
Just
on.
to think about.
And he said that the guy who was transferring the tapes, when my audition came on, he goes, I think that one. So that's how I got the job.
That's your outliers moment.
That's, yeah.
Is some weirdo rando guy
Tape,
somewhere in
transfer guy.
London.
Let's see.
That one. I like that one. I like the
that
bass.
one. Yeah.
There you go.
I guess the director was like, okay.
Okay, well, clearly it was more than that, because once he eventually came back and you started rehearsals, if it really weren't that good, I feel like they would have.
So it was it wasn't a new play. I mean, it was a new play in London, and it had won, called The Libertine. I think it won some big awards there, the Olivier and whatnot. Anyway, and a guy named Stephen Jeffries, as the writer, came out, and it was like Martha Plimpton and Marianne Mayberry and some other folks. Ian, sorry, Ian. And it was this incredible cast of people, and I was playing one of these 3 women in his life, his wife, John Malkovich's wife, and all my scenes were with him, and there were these big, dramatic, really dramatic scenes.
Yeah.
And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. But he was great. He would wear this like white collarless button-down like linen shirt every day, and always some kind of a scarf, like a silk scarf and like a tan linen pant, like literally. Every day, he looked like his outfit was more than my car. If I didn't have a car, but if I did.
If you did.
Right.
Like a Geo Metro.
And then we would ride my Geo Metro, which was coming, and we would sit down and we would rehearse, and we sat at the table for a long time because it was a brand new play, and then John would start talking, about with the writer about something, and we would all kind of just be very excited. And then slowly we would peel off to like go get a cup of tea or whatever, because it would go on forever.
I bet.
These conversations. And then we made this. Then we did this incredible play. I mean, he was very generous, and he would. I was so scared. I mean, it was my first co-star.
Of course.
Out of
Why wouldn't
college.
you be?
Wasn't like my buddy Rick Steer. It was from. It was now.
John Malkovich, who, as we all know, was wonderful in that Jewel Thief movie.
Anyway, so he would, I'd get out there, and he would just mess with me. It was like, And he would never, it was never really the same thing any night. And it was all just he and I mean, these long scenes, you know, not the whole show. But, and then eventually he would just walk up to me in the middle of me talking and just kiss me. And I was like.
On stage during a performance.
And then, I mean, just kind of, I'm literally just like, what to expect from this man? And then, like, we're doing this thing, we're getting our portraits taken, and he's a big drunk in this play, and I'm really pious, and we're doing this thing, and then he would like just stick his hand down my, you know, I mean, everyone can, you know, it's not like, but just to my character, and I remember just being like, and I'd go home and have these dreams about it. It was very interesting.
Oh, wow. How long did this play run?
It ran for about 3 months. And then I remember the day he had this lace front wig made, you know, with long hair. And I remember him coming in one day in his kind of like open button shirt and it was me and Martha Plimpton and Marianne Mayberry. We all shared a dressing room. And got to bring my dog because Martha brought her dog, and I was like, Martha's gonna bring her dog. Bring my dog. And he came in one day like brushing his teeth, and he was like, I got the call saying they wanted to take the show to Broadway, and we're all just like, and he goes, and I said no.
Oh.
And then walked out. We were all like, awesome.
Oh.
But I guess he did some show. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, and then. I don't know if he got a bad review or something and never wanted to go back.
Bummer.
I mean, it was such a
well, hey, as long as we're talking about your theater work, we're going to jump way ahead. There was a production called Bear.
Yes.
On Off-Broadway.
Yes.
That you did just a few years ago.
Yeah, I did a production of Bear. My friend John Hartmere wrote this musical back about 12 years ago about two boys who fall in love in the Catholic school, and it's kind of, it's loosely like weaves its way around them doing the play Romeo and Juliet. So it's a really beautiful musical, and he wrote it with a guy named Damon Interbar.
Google it. If you're curious, fans, Google it.
And then they were trying to get it to Broadway, and I think that like 12 years ago or 10 years ago, maybe 12 now. And it didn't end up happening, and so they remounted it. And it was really interesting because...
Pun intended? Pun intended?
Always.
All right.
They remounted it.
Still.
And it's just an interesting thing. It didn't do very well with the critics because it was...
Well, fuck them.
They felt like it had... Like, what's the problem with two boys falling in love?
Happens every day.
Nobody cares anymore, which is just not true. I mean, there's still a lot of...
But you played a nun.
I played a nun. And the Virgin Mary.
A singing and dancing nun, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. And you had quite the showstopper number in there, if I'm led to believe.
If you're led to believe by some
everything
words you read on the internet.
It was quite the showstopper.
That's good, yeah. It was like this kid I play a nun, and then this kid has a pot cookie.
Yeah.
Or brownie, and then I appear to him as the Virgin Mary, and I do like a real number.
Now,
razzle dazzle you, and then I do a little
now I read about this, and it said
act.
that they were trying to maybe get an original cast recording made. Does that ever happen?
It never happened.
Fuck. I really want to hear
really
this number.
upset.
I really wanted to hear this number.
So what did it say?
Don't sing it now. We can't afford the rights. We can't get sued here.
How many can you do? Like 8?
I think you can give 8 bars. Give us 7.5 bars of anything
bars
you remember.
Of it. It was I'm still kind of hoarse from our
Oh no, then don't do it.
Weekend, but no, it was I'll have to think about it.
All right, don't worry about it. I'm blowing up. Let me make sure. Oh.
Is it your mom?
No, but it's we got a tweet 5. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. It's not my mother. She wouldn't know how to text me. You could put a gun to her head. She could not send a text message.
Okay.
You could put a gun to her head with a week of time.
To put a gun to your
She
mother's
could
head.
not do
Okay.
it. Let's see if we have any good questions. Okay. This is a good one that did not come up in any of the research.
Okay.
Can you ask Missy? This is from at Ashley Stebbings, Ashley ST78. Can you ask Missi Pyle about her starring role in Penn Jillette's upcoming movie, Director's Cut?
Oh, so there's this. Speaking of, when you go down the list. So Penn Jillette wrote this movie, which is like a movie within a movie, a crowdfunded movie within a crowdfunded movie.
Jesus.
Right.
Leave it to
and
Penn.
he plays an extra who pays to come on the movie, and I play Missi Pyle in the real movie. But in the movie within the movie, I'm like, it's like a cop drama, And so basically, Penn kidnaps me and makes me reenact some scenes from the movie in his basement, and he recasts himself, steals some of the footage, makes a director's cut where he narrates the film using some of the real footage from the movie and some of the footage that he took as an extra, and it's incredibly insane.
I'll bet.
And he crowdfunded it. He got raised a couple million or $1 million. To make it, and when I met with the director Adam Rifkin, he didn't tell me how many people had passed on it, but it was written for Gina Gershon, and they were like, just pretend it's not Gina, that will be all about you. So, but it's literally like, there's Missy, and he's like an obsessed fan with Missy.
Okay.
So that's that movie, and when Penn finally when I met Penn, he was like, we're really glad you took it because you're the 8th person we went to.
You're not supposed to tell the actor that. You're never supposed to tell the actor.
I don't. I mean, at this point, I'm just excited if it comes.
Oh, man. The worst one I got was the opposite of that, where I did this kids movie, and they offered me. It was the worst offer. It was so embarrassing. But at the time,
can you pay us to do?
Basically, but at the time I was like, I needed the work so much. I hadn't worked in so long, and I was like, well, it's a studio movie. I'm gonna take it. And then we tried back and forth. Oh, can we a little more? No. And so we took the thing, and then the first week on set, I'm talking to the director, and I was like, yeah. So how many other people were you thinking of for this role? He goes, oh, you're the only person we saw. I went, I'm sorry? He goes, yeah, you came in at the beginning of the session when we weren't even really reading those other roles yet because you were about to go out of town, and we saw you, and then I told casting not to bother to bring in any other people because I knew you were the guy. They had no one else if I said no. I could have gotten paid more than the lead. So it's the opposite that gets me sometimes.
Yeah, well,
you don't want to. I want there to be I don't want to be the 8th choice, but I don't want to be the only choice. I want to be I want to be number 2.
I love that you don't want to be the only choice.
No, I don't, because then I feel like unless I negotiate a great deal, I've failed. Their backs are up against the wall.
Right. Well, then that's only when you just don't care about a project. I mean, that's the only time that really works.
I know.
And then there's one moment in my life where I was like, I'm right, and I don't need it. And the rest of you are like, yeah, I'll come. No, go, I'll take it. Wait. Are you still there?
Speaking of that, how was Soul Plane?
Soul Plane was amazing.
That's my favorite segue I've ever been given, by the way, in this entire show.
I went to so many great house parties that I went with people. I mean, not so many, 2.
Where did you shoot Soul Plane? Atlanta?
L.A.
Oh, L.A.
And this is before Atlanta.
Atlanta
was
blew
really,
up? Okay.
Anyone really cared to go to Atlanta.
The only reason, because you said house parties, I was like, oh, Atlanta has the craziest.
No, I mean,
house parties.
somebody's great big pool party, where you drive up and everybody's got a really super fancy Mac Daddy car, and I think I was still married to my first husband, and we went, and it was just so. I mean, I felt like I always feel out of place at a party if I don't know anybody. I always feel like, what am I doing here? But it was so crazy fun, and Snoop Dogg, I guess so. He would show up kind of late, a couple of hours maybe late. But so the director made a bet with him and was like, "I'll give you $1,000 if you show up on time.
Ooh.
So he spent the night in his trailer and just wouldn't come out until they had the $1,000.
That seems like cheating, but I'll allow it. Because
mean,
you get
poor
extra
Snoop.
points for creativity.
And then there was this, and then at our wrap party, I mean, it was great fun. It's the opening of that movie, the first 15 minutes is some of the funniest, silliest. Like the plane with low class and like regular class and low class and like lockers above that you had to pay to put your like poles like the subway cart.
Wow.
But at the wrap party, Snoop was surrounded by like 8 dudes, like big dudes, just like, and he was in the center greeting people.
Yeah.
I was like, "Excuse me, I would like to say hello to Mr. Dog," and went in. Ooh, you are tall, fine.
Does
you
anyone-
tall? You fine.
Does anyone call him
Fine,
Calvin?
tall girl. I didn't.
Yeah, but other people did?
I don't know.
Oh,
Most of my scenes were not with him. They were with Tom Arnold.
just flew out of my broken hand.
Yeah, what?
Broken. This is a broken hand.
I think it's
This is-
the pinky.
It is the pinky. You're correct. Sorry, blew it. Yeah, I don't know what I did, but it
You really
hurts.
don't know what you
I
did?
really don't. But it's hurt a few days now, and today it turned a corner into like severe pain when I woke up. And if I didn't have to come here,
You'd be in the
I
emergency
would
room.
have gone to get an X-rayed.
We could take this on the road.
We could Periscope the rest of this.
Ooh.
Well, we can't because I'm not on Periscope.
I know.
And also, no, I'm not going to do that. We're classier than
I'm
that.
confused by Periscope.
It's not anything that society needed.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We were at that tournament. I mean, that
Yeah.
charity thing.
Yeah.
And Eric Stone Street and James Vanderbeek were doing their Periscoping.
Yeah.
And that was very funny to watch the people watching, like, what's going on
Yeah.
with the beak?
Yeah.
What's going on with...
Oh, what is? Can we talk about Vanderbeek for a second? So James Vanderbeek, future guest on this show, he expressed interest.
Oh.
He was at Kansas City for the first time also, and walking around with Vanderbeek, it's like walking around with like Paul Newman.
Paul Newman? Really?
In terms of the handsome factor, at least. At the very least.
You find him handsome?
He's dreamy. He's
I
fucking
think he's
dreamy.
handsome.
Yeah. And so when we were at the party,
Right.
there's this big party on Saturday night they throw for all the VIP
Right.
donors and the people who donate a lot of money. They give him this nice
Right.
party. He never had a moment to himself.
I would imagine not.
The ladies were all up in that.
I
The
mean,
Vanderbeek.
I find myself more of a Martin Starr kind of lady. You know? Vanderbeek is almost too Vanderbeek for me.
He's too good looking. That's what you're saying. That's what
I
I'm
don't
hearing.
know. I mean, is it, or it's, I mean, I think he's attractive.
Yeah.
He's attractive. He's a super cool guy.
He was very cool. I was pissed off by how cool he was.
Yeah, it's upsetting.
Yeah. Like, just
Olivia Wilde, too. Like,
Yeah.
We get it.
just be a bitch. Just
Yeah,
make me
come
feel
on.
better by being an awful bitch.
Yeah, she
She
like
won't do it.
tweeted me at the very end, like something really nice. I was like, "Fuck you,"
Yeah.
and you're adorable. And like Selena Gomez with her 70 billion.
That's insane. Selena Gomez and her Instagram followers.
Mm.
Okay, I have a couple of good tweet fives for you.
Ooh.
So let's roll the T5 intro. Okay. Thank you. The T5 intro is our good friend David Keckner.
Oh, okay.
You let me know when we're good. Go nuts. We're good?
That was fast.
Okay, this tweet 5 comes from Graham Koreski, who's watching on the YouTube page. Thank you very much, Graham. Wait a minute. Graham, your T5 is only a T4.
Oh, what does that mean?
God damn it. That's fine. We'll do T4. You know what? I'll include someone else's question. I'm going to include... Okay, this is very strange how these texts all came into me, and I apologize for that. But so this next one is either Luke Redford, Jan Jensen, and or P-Funk 2442. It's all of them? That's fine. This is a combination of questions from all of the people I just mentioned. Here we
Okay.
go. T5. Beard or clean shaven?
Beard.
Indie or big budget?
Big budget.
Stage or screen?
Stage.
Depp or Wilder?
Which Wilder?
Whichever one you want.
Depp.
Okay. Flats or
Oh.
heels?
Oh, Depp or Wilder? Oh, has to be Depp. But, boots.
Boots. Boots with heels?
Little heel.
Little heel, half heel. Split the difference. Okay.
Took me a minute to.
I know the Depp or Wilder. It
Sorry,
took me a
guys.
second there too. I also like beard over clean shaven, and you hadn't even said anything about the fact that I shaved off my beard.
Yeah, why'd you do that?
For
When
you.
you knew I was coming.
Yeah, for you. I wanted you to see me
I'm
multiple
into,
ways.
I'm into
I had to do it for work this week.
like a full.
I love that beard. I had that beard 8 months.
Yeah. Oh, you had to do it for work. Okay.
Yeah, I had to shave it off for work. Sorry,
When
it'll be back in a
when
week.
did this? Were you clean shaven?
I was very clean shaven.
When?
A day ago.
So
2
this
days.
is a day of
This is
growth.
what's today? Sunday, Friday. It was clean shaven.
Not bad.
No, I'll take it.
Okay.
That's swarthy Ashkenazi
yeah, I
Eastern
was
European
gonna say,
Jew.
you really.
Yeah. I'm one step shy from just like blowing on my thumb really hard and just having it come out of my face like Play-Doh.
All right, let's do that.
Oh, if I could make that happen.
In a world, I want to
Oh.
live in that world.
You
Here's
and me
my
both.
problem with James Vanderbeek.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Hit me.
He's not dirty enough for me. He's not. There's not. I like a little.
You need messy.
I like a little. I like a little funk.
You need a little fixer-upper?
Yeah. I like a little someone who's, it's there's something. It's too. It's like you said. It's not. It's just. He needs to. He needs to be. Yeah. Someone.
You know what he did? He showed me a picture of his wife and his 2 kids on his phone.
It was a lot.
And I want you to know that the picture of James Vanderbeek's family, his wife and his 2 like small children, they look exactly what you think they would look like. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Specimens of humanity.
Yeah.
All of them. Just too beautiful. All
So
blonde
much,
hair,
like,
blue eye, the whole.
It
did.
Imagine.
Yeah.
If Jesus had a baby with James Vanderbeek,
James Vanderbeek.
but Jesus were a blonde-haired woman,
A beautiful blonde woman.
beautiful blonde woman,
Who had 2 perfect blonde children.
that would be what it looks like.
That's what the family looked like. Mm-hmm. It's like whatever the opposite of like a Norman Rockwell painting is. That's James Vanderbeek's family. What a weird comparison. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to get to something I know a lot of our fans have wanted me to talk to you about. I don't like to lead off with the big questions. I like to ease you in. I like to get you comfortable. I want you to let your guard down. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to talk about what I believe either Roger Ebert or Richard Roper or Leonard Maltin or someone referred to, and I wholeheartedly agree, as a perfect film.
Yeah.
Galaxy
Yeah.
Quest.
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest is, in fact, a perfect movie.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
And boy, are you great in that.
Aw, thank you, Sam.
Lilani?
Laliaria.
Laliaria. I got it totally wrong. And I had it written down, too. I was like, I don't need to refresh
You
myself.
have a lot to do.
That's
you have
a
to
long
decide
name.
the trajectory of what you're going to say
Nah.
next
Nah.
and read at the same time. That's a lot.
That's too much for an actor.
Right. It is, it's a lot. You got to direct. You got to be good. Are you questioning, am I doing a good job?
Oh, I know I'm not.
Right. What do you mean?
No, I'm not.
Why would you say that?
I'm doing an okay job. I'm keeping the wheels on the train. But we're going like 4 miles an hour. It's fine, though. As long as the people don't hate me.
Do you want to go faster?
No. I think we're going at an appropriate pace.
Okay.
At least I think. But again, I have bad judgment in this area. But I want to talk about Galaxy Quest. In fact, here's a little tidbit I learned about you getting cast in Galaxy Quest.
Oh.
That I'm sure you already know. But I'm going to enlighten our fans just
wanna
because
hear
it's
the story.
super awesome. So in this crazy showbiz world that you and I are in, I always like to think of the actors' 2 truest, greatest allies are the hair and makeup department and casting directors.
Right. Yeah.
And Deborah Zane, who everyone loves,
Yes.
cast Galaxy Quest.
And everyone wants to have her love. She's so wonderful.
She's magnificent.
Casts incredible projects.
Yes. And so they were having trouble finding Laliari. Okay. Like Salieri.
Yeah.
They were having trouble.
Laliari.
They were having serious trouble.
They were having trouble.
And
They didn't really know what they wanted.
yeah.
In fact, Jennifer Coolidge came in.
Oh.
And I think kind of blew everyone away because because the Thermians received television shows from the universe thinking that was God. And so she, I think, played her as like some actress and did like an impression, and they loved that.
Yeah. But it didn't
Wasn't
work
quite
out.
what they were looking for.
Wasn't quite. And then you go in and you see Deborah Zane,
Yeah.
and Deborah Zane immediately knows.
Well, she says to me, look, we're having trouble casting this part. So I'm going to show everyone an audition.
Oh.
She's like, I wouldn't normally do this, but of another character who didn't actually get this part. And it's this actor, Jed Reese, who's phenomenal. He's in the film. And he's auditioning for Mathazar, which is the character Enrico Colantoni played. And so the camera's there, and I didn't really know what to do with the sides either.
Yeah.
You know? And Jed goes, so Jed Reese is why I have a career. But he goes, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
You know? And so then I was like, everything was,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
super.
To me, that almost seems like the Thermians might have been watching like a local evening newscast. Mm-hmm. Good evening.
Yes. Well, you know, these giant
Yeah.
squids, you know, in their real life.
Right.
So for them to actually be in a body is very strange, and they're so afraid to, you know, that they're, you know, that they, you know, and what, it just don't quite get it right, you know.
Right. So Deborah shows you this audition tape, and you lay down this perfect audition.
Well, it was,
And then when she sent on the VHS to Dean Pariseau, the director,
when she's in the VHS, yes.
she
totally right.
attached a Xerox copy of her Casting Society of America card, her CSA card, that said, "If this is not Laliari, I will give up my casting card.
Yes.
I will cut this up and resign from the Casting Society."
That's what she told me, yeah.
Yeah. And
And I got the job.
good thing, because if we'd have lost Deborah Zane over that,
I know. Think of all the
think of all the great roles that would have been
know.
miscast over the years. Like me and everything I've ever done.
yeah.
So Galaxy Quest, so it was not a big part when they brought you on, right?
No, it was only a couple of scenes.
And yet,
Well, I think what they realized is that they had this cast full of men, and they had Sigourney Weaver, and that was kind of the only like love interest at all was she and Tim Allen, and then they needed another female love interest, and so within, you know, literally, there was I remember coming into the hair and makeup trailer, and again, our favorite person. And Bill, my makeup artist, was like, "I heard your part got bigger," and I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so they, I guess, because these stories never happen. But they were watching the footage, you know, and Spielberg was like, "We should make Missy's character have a love interest with Tony Shalhoub." And so literally, but they had to make it really short because there was really no. So it's literally one, like we look at each other, we smile, we hold hands and make out, and then that's it. And then I'm with them for the rest of the movie, just kind of. So I really don't talk very much in the movie. I just kind of express the emotion.
And yet,
throughout the movie.
so memorable with so few lines of dialogue.
I mean, yeah, and then like just Enrico Colantoni too. I mean, it's just so divine in that movie as the head alien.
Everyone is. That is a perfectly cast movie, except for Justin Long, because it's not like I read for that.
Oh, you did?
Do you know when I read for that movie? This is a quick story because I don't want to make this about me, but that movie was casting as Freaks and Geeks had been picked up to series.
Oh my God.
We were in New York for the upfronts in May of '99.
Yes.
And I had never been to the upfronts, never been to an upfront party. And so I go to, I'm 17 years
haven't.
old.
But anyway.
I go to the NBC party at the long since closed Spy Bar.
Wow.
And I'm there until 4 a.m. And then a bunch of NBC executives or DreamWorks executives or both were like, hey, we're going to go to this all-night karaoke place in Koreatown. Let's go. So we go into like Koreatown in New York. And we go to a karaoke joint. And I'm at this karaoke joint until like 7 a.m.
And then your audition is that day?
And then my audition was at 10 a.m. for Galaxy Quest.
I mean, you could use it to play a 16-year-old.
To play a 16-year-old. Even though I looked 13 at the time, there's no way I didn't come off like a grizzled 55-year-old. Mom,
do I really
go out and help the crew.
Do I really have to
Galaxy
take out the
Quest.
trash, Mom?
Come on, Mom. That was 100% on me that I didn't get that. Also, Justin Long was great in that. So it's hard to claim that it was miscast.
Tim
He was so
Allen,
good
I
in it.
mean,
Yeah.
I never had like a conversation with Tim Allen because he's
Never?
always like a, hey, that kind of, yeah, what's up, and making fart noises and whatever. But he's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Like,
He is.
TV star at the time, and at the time he was.
Did I read somewhere, and maybe you would know about this, maybe not, that they are going to try to turn Galaxy Quest into an actual TV show?
I heard that. I think but that's kind of what they're doing. I was just talking to somebody, they're making a TV show of Van Wilder. I mean, I think they're trying to kind of.
There's no new ideas anymore.
Not really.
It's only pre-existing
For
successful properties.
You and me.
You and me. I see this as like Precious 2 kind of thing. No? Maybe I'm reading wrong.
I don't know if did you see Precious?
I did, but I fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not.
There was a lot happened while you were sleeping.
I
It would
have-
make it less.
I got carried away in our conversation, and we have to feed the coffers here.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me for this brief bit of business, but please pay close attention. Hey, you know that we have great advertisers that support the show and keep it free for you, don't you? One of the reasons why advertisers love Kevin Pollak's Chat Show is that they know the show has amazing listeners. That's you, the people listening to my voice right now. About once a year, we run a listener survey to help demonstrate this to advertisers. Right now, that is this time of year, we have an all-new survey that I'd like you to take to help us learn more about our audience. So just go to podsurvey.com/Pollack. The survey will only take 5 minutes, and don't you dare act like you don't have 5 minutes. We both know you do. We're going to ask you some questions about yourself, what you like to buy, but hey, it's completely anonymous. I don't care if you're smuggling panda meat in. We just need to know that that's the kind of stuff you're into. Your answers help us find advertisers that are well-matched to you, your interests, and the show. And when you're finished, you can enter a monthly drawing to win a $100 Amazon gift card. Yeah, that's right. 5 minutes, maybe you get a $100 Amazon gift card. You're not going to beat that. Even if you've taken one of our previous surveys, I'd like to ask you to please take this new one. It's been completely revised, and our advertisers like it when we have the most up-to-date answers. Plus, again, you will also be eligible to win that $100 Amazon gift card. So go to podsurvey.com/Pollack, Pollak. Podsurvey, podsurvey.com. Thank you for helping us find the best advertisers so that we can keep the show free for you, the listeners who we love. Okay, that's done. I almost forgot about that, and they would have crucified me.
Do you need a sip of water?
Do you?
No, I feel like yours is full and you haven't had a sip.
I just refilled it.
Oh.
Oh, I mean, because you were telling a story.
Oh.
Let's do the rest of the show with mugs to our faces.
Okay.
That'll be great.
It really works.
It's good for sound and video, right? Yeah. Okay. You know, our viewers complain about the sound on the show all the time, and I got to tell you, I listen back to it sometimes. I'll watch an episode. I have zero problems. So I'm going to go ahead and say
In
that
general, you have zero problems?
No, just with the audio on the playback. So I'm going to go ahead and say that those playback problems are on you guys. You back me up on that, Jimmick? Yes. Great. Done and done. Okay, now one last thing about the great, perfect Galaxy Quest. The movie also happens to have in it one of my family's all-time favorite actors, the magnificent Alan Rickman.
Yes.
Do you have any Alan Rickman stories.
I mean, all I can tell you is that he's a magical being. And he, when you are an actor kind of at my level, which is super not quite star. But you know what I mean? When you're not, especially that one. That was my first movie, and most actors will take their lunch in their
That was
trailer.
not your first movie.
It was my first decent-sized role in a movie. And Alan Rickman, Sigourney Weaver would go to her dressing room, her trailer, and Tim Allen. But for lunch every day, Alan would come and sit with me, and Patrick Breen and Jed Reese and Enrico. We would all just eat lunch together, which was
wonderful.
So just lovely.
Yeah.
And then when it was over, I went and visited him in London. He and his wife, we went out one day, went to his house, and had some champagne cocktails. Walked because I worked with another actor named Adam Godley.
That was me, and the volume is supposed to be off here. I don't know what's. It's off. I turned it off.
In the middle of an Alan Rickman,
I'm
Adam
listening
Godley
to every
story.
word. I'm hanging in your every word. Believe me, I asked that because I'm interested. I wasn't just whistling Dixie.
It's just this, and I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but it's just always give you a call when they're in town. He's just a lovely, funny man.
Just adore him. That may be my favorite role he's ever done.
Yeah.
He was so brilliant. I mean, especially for what we do, because we know those actors.
Yes.
Who just have nothing left. They can't believe that great body of work, played the Globe Theater, and the only thing people want is the silly sci-fi thing. And he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it.
That's the thing. Everybody nailed their stuff. I know. I was like, I think I'm peaking on my first movie.
Nope. That's nonsense. I won't hear of it. I won't hear of it at all. Okay, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one, can you tell me what jangrod means?
No. So my best friend Christine, and she has a language of her own. She'll be like that bliff flop, ling dang, ding jong, jangrod. And now that you can't really say anything anymore.
On this podcast, you can say anything you want.
Well, you can't say you get in trouble if you say anything.
That's true. Yeah, it's very PC society.
Very PC. So jangrod is just sort of like a douchebag, or if you're being a little jangroddery.
Okay.
Jang. And then sometimes we're jangs and sometimes we're rods.
I see.
You can be a jang.
It's fluid.
So we had bracelets made saying jang and rod.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So
I like it.
I gave her necklaces JR.
Nice.
It's nicknames.
I think
lovers.
I think jangrod needs to become part of the lexicon.
Full jangroddery. Yeah, you're not offending anyone except for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
unless we're calling you the word.
Yeah.
And even then.
But it's
Yeah.
That's a real dick move.
Okay.
Real jangroddery.
Jangrod move.
Yeah.
Over there, this guy
Jangs.
pulled.
There are a bunch of jangs over there just janging it out.
Yeah.
With their rods.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Next.
Where did you find it?
Don't you worry about that. Here's my next question.
Where do you find these things?
Here's my next question, and I hope to God this is true.
Ugh.
Did you really work as a sex education teacher?
I did.
Oh,
I did.
fucking A! I want to hear about that. Where, when, how?
When I first I started volunteering for Planned Parenthood, so it was about 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
And I wanted there to be, I wanted to know when I was younger a little bit more information.
Yeah.
So I went to Planned Parenthood and I literally took these classes and was a volunteer speaker at for a couple years here in LA.
Oh.
And I would come when they would have the projectors, have I'd be like, hello everyone, today we're going to talk about healthy bodies. And they would just be like, were you in dodgeball? Or, how much money what kind of car do you drive? And then I put up a picture of a woman's genitalia.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, but it was imagine a woman, but just a pen and not a pen, black and white, whatever. But imagine a woman laying back, and the curliest pubes.
Well.
For the 9th grade.
You have to illustrate it clearly for them.
Yeah, it was a lot, and this is a flaccid penis. This is a penis that's not erect, And then we would talk about like cleaning, how to, and birth control, with put the condom on the banana, and all of that kind of stuff. How how ovulation happens, how you get pregnant. And then I would answer questions from them, like anonymous questions, which were usually, were you in Soul Plane? And what happens if I have 2 tampons? inside of it? Can you get pregnant if you have sex in the shower? Which, of course not.
Of course not. Everybody knows that.
Everyone knows that.
You're clean.
You're clean.
You're totally clean.
Yeah, you can't get pregnant.
Speaking of vaginas,
Tell me more.
how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good does it feel to kick Queen Latifah in the vag?
In the vagina, it feels pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, what I enjoyed about that movie was that even though I was this horrible, horrible person, I still gave her a fucking run for her money.
You really
I beat
did.
the living shit out of her, and she just happened to beat the shit out of me more.
Yeah. So this is, of course, bringing down the house. And
Which, if you watch it, is so. It is impossible that movie would be made today.
it really is.
So overwhelmingly racist.
But you do play this
Most
most racist person
I play, and I
outside of 12 Years a Slave, maybe in the history of American cinema.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I date these old men, and Adam Shankman, who directed it, was telling me that, from the time that they cast the movie, I have 3 scenes where I'm with super old dudes, you know. From the time they cast it to be shot, like 3 people they cast had actually died. They were so old. And they're all extras.
God.
I mean,
That's ridiculous.
yeah.
Well, if anyone doesn't know what we're referring to, first off, bad on you. Second, I'm happy to report that even though I remembered seeing you in the movie and loving you in the movie, you can go straight to YouTube if you want to see the beatdown.
The fight down. And it's the longest fight scene. And
Yeah.
Just so much.
It rivals the fight scene from They Live.
Right.
That one's for the real nerds.
Yeah.
Come on, Dr. Chen. I was really hoping to have you on board with that one. No, not a big They Live fan?
What happened
All right.
to you?
That's all right. Yeah. Seriously, what happened to you, Dr. Chen?
Just over there doing
Used to-
some words with friends.
Dodgeball.
I have to give a shout out to Elle Alexander, who's my stunt double. I mean, she was on fire. There's
Yeah.
a scene where they break through the door. She
Oh,
gets
yeah.
her leg bashed by the toilet, goes to the hospital, gets some stitches, comes back, a gash, comes back, and just gets, just keeps getting
Oh, man.
hammered. She's
Yeah.
incredible.
Stunt actors rarely get the credit they deserve.
Well, I think, I remember watching, what was that stunt show from the 80s? He was the stunt man.
Stuntman?
The stuntman show. Oh, what was it?
Huh?
What?
You can speak up. Oh, Super Dave. Super Dave Osborne? Adventures of Super Dave?
It was the 80s, and he was like, it was a like a 1-hour show about
Oh,
the Fall Guy. That's what it was. Remember, I mean, this is a while ago.
okay.
I'm older than I look.
No,
I'm 59.
no, that's. You look amazing,
Thank you.
by the way.
You too. We are so gonna take over.
We really
I can't
are.
wait to
Thank
get
you.
our Oscar.
Yep.
But the Fall Guy, and I remember thinking like it was so glamorous and nobody ever got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did this movie Home Alone 4 in Cape Town, South Africa. And I had like 4 people dressed up as me for when they started because it was I was playing one of the bad guys. And so it was like, hanging on a chandelier and going down the stair. I mean, it was just, and everybody got hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Well, here's what I will say. They have great health insurance. I will say that about the Screen Actors Guild
Right.
health insurance. It's pretty great if you're a stunt performer.
I would hope so.
Okay, well, you teased Dodgeball before.
Yes.
Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think I had trouble pronouncing your name from Galaxy Quest,
Fran Stelanoskavoskovich.
you're missing several syllables.
Stelanoskavoskovich.
David Doskevitsky.
That's not. Let me see.
That's what IMDb says.
Fran Stelanoskavachevich. Somebody made.
Somebody made that up?
I thought it was Fran Stelanoskavachevich.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go with what you say. Screw the internet. You'd know better. You were there.
That
You
could
were
be
there.
it though.
You were
Maybe
there.
they, you know.
I don't know. So that
The
was
deadliest woman in the world with a dodgeball.
the deadliest woman with the big Princess Leia buns and the solid unibrow.
The idea was like you were supposed to look at her from the legs up,
Yeah.
and she like I actually wore a butt implant for that movie, and a giant padded push-up bra. So like she go up and she's like, and then you would get to her face. It's like, ooh, and she's like, oh man.
Oh.
You
Do you know? I know exactly what you mean. And I had a friend, a comedian friend, and his road manager looked exactly like the woman from the cartoons who was like super sexy and then the guy, you know, that Bugs Bunny or whomever would walk in, and then she'd turn around and she'd have that face. Oh man!
Yeah.
Just that.
Was that you?
That was totally me.
Because
Yeah.
you were really good.
I know.
Yeah.
And I can't hear that without thinking of this woman, who was lovely, by the way.
Really lovely.
She was very
Right,
sweet.
as far as road
but she
managers
had the
go.
face of that cartoon character.
Should we give her a shout out?
I don't even know her name.
Okay.
Maybe I do, and I'm not going to say it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter which one of those two things is
You
accurate.
don't have to. Yeah.
How? Hey, there's another Justin Long movie, The Dodgeball.
Yeah. I've done 3 Justin Long movies. I did another one with Emmanuel Shrieky and he and I can't even remember what it's called because the name got changed.
Oh.
I've done so many like low budget movies that
And
I can't always remember them.
you're telling me. How do you like the little budget ones?
So when the top with the Fast Five
Yeah.
thing, when it's like low budget or independent, I mean, I would like an independent with a big budget.
Sure.
You know, I love working on an independent movie. It's just it's tricky when there's really little money and you're not doing something else that's making you a ton of money.
Right.
But I find like the big budget stuff is just fewer and farther between.
You and me both. They don't. The
make us
studios
money.
won't take chances. The namesake of this show, Kevin Pollak, he's directing his first narrative feature.
Oh, no.
As we speak, basically. He's deep into pre-production. They go into production, I think, this week. And
You offering me a part?
yeah, sure.
what this is
I
for?
have the authority to do that, so yes. But he's got this thing where the producers, on every role, the only question they have is, does he move the needle internationally? Does she move the needle internationally?
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, it's infuriating because even if the answer is no, it's like, yeah, but look at the resume. This person's going to give us a knockout performance. They're going to make this movie. Yeah, but if we can't sell it overseas, and unfortunately, that is pretty much the current way of thinking
Right.
in casting studio movies.
Right.
I don't even get to read for him anymore. I mean,
kinda
yeah, that's pretty
sad.
bad, right? Well, no, that's
Sadder.
not entirely true. But
No,
I'll get like
well,
maybe 5 studio auditions a year for movies.
Yeah, it's definitely different than it used to be. But and then you get somebody who doesn't have to care, and that's when it's really fun. Like
Yeah.
you get to work with like a David Fincher or somebody
Yeah.
like that who can actually say like, you know, I'm going to cast you as opposed to.
Yes. And speaking of your work with Mr. David Fincher in the spectacular
Oh, did I mention?
Gone Girl, well, I was saving it till last, but
Oh,
since
God,
you
we
brought
had
it up,
to.
no, I'm saving something else to last.
Oh God.
But let's talk about Gone Girl, please. I adore Fincher. The man could do no wrong in my eyes.
Really?
Yeah. Truly, I've
I like
seen.
him too. I mean, I just no wrong.
He's so far he hasn't really put out a stinker.
No, he really hasn't.
Not
Not
even
in my
close.
opinion. I can't. The Fight Club is one of the best movies
It's
I've ever
really
seen.
a sensational film. Yeah.
I
No.
can't even. It's one of my top 5 movies. So good.
Yeah. So okay. So then you were a fan going in.
I was so scared going in, and like and my agent even said to me, she's like, I've got this. She calls me, she's like, I've got this audition for you for Gone Girl, and I've played a lot of like television announcers, so. But she goes like, and don't you're going to probably have to go in 2, 3, 4 times. So don't get excited. You know, I've got some
Oh,
long.
you're good? Okay, I'm worried you're
I'm
getting
fine.
parched. Okay.
And so I went in and read for Lorraine Mayfield, who's his casting director, who's also almost just as cool as him. She's sort of like from Texas. You know? She's just like, let's go and do it this way. You know, she does all the stuff. And I went in and did read 3 times, and I got the part. And I was really excited. Never actually met him, but I'd heard about all of the takes they're doing
he's
over and over again.
famous.
And they flew me to Missouri because most of my stuff was in a studio, just like this. But then that was going to be later. I only actually worked like 5 days in the movie, but one day was like in September.
Yeah.
One day was like in November, and then one day was like February. I mean, it was literally
Wow.
like I was run a picture.
Wow, that's
like
great.
4 or 5 days. And I got there, and I had to walk out of the like the little minivan, walk up to up the steps of the house, and trip in the grass, and then notice it, and open the door, and like a band, you know, or whatever his character's name was, I can't remember. And I had to do that about 75 times. And it'd be like, do a trip, and I was trying to do the same trip from Best in Show that what's her name does, where she.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah. I was trying to kind of, you know, and he was like, I'm not buying the trip. You know, look at that. Don't put your head down, Missy. You had your eyebrows, Missy. But you know, at one point, I was just so nervous that I get to the thing and I go, Nick, and then cut. No, wink, Missy. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know. And then they didn't even use it.
No, of course not.
And but it was great fun. I mean, it was really. There was something kind of lovely about being able to do something, you know, because you do get out of your head finally.
Oh, yeah.
At some point.
After take 28, it's like
Right.
it doesn't mean anything to you anymore, and now it's just becoming like a part of life.
Right. So
And that's when I guess, and I'd like to think maybe that's sort of when, and then it just becomes this totally natural thing, like you don't even care anymore, like how most people actually go through.
Yeah, and to be able to have the luxury to play like that
Sure.
as a grown-up trying to make money and pay a mortgage
Right.
is just heavenly.
Yeah.
And to work with people that are, you know, I really liked Ben Affleck quite a bit. I think he's, you know, quite good. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
Batfleck.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Batfleck, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
That's what I've been calling him. I used to call him Benafleck.
Oh,
Benafleck.
yeah.
See? It works.
You are so full of mischief. And
I really
wonder.
am a...
Surprising little tidbits.
Many people have asked me to ask you about your fine work on Boston Legal.
Really?
At least 5 different people over the course of this
interesting.
interview have said, please ask her what it was like working on Boston Legal.
So I get offered this, talk about, you know, when you get offered something that somebody else was offered previously. I think they had offered it to Cher, this role. And everybody's go-to, this guy.
If
Cher.
Cher's not available, get us Missi Pyle.
Get us Missi Pyle.
If Missi Pyle's not available,
Get us Samm Levine.
get us
Yeah.
Samm Levine. That
This
is
is
the
a
order.
beautiful relationship. So the character is described as like having no humor, and she's this attorney, and like her lover gets killed, and her, you know, she's a partner, this woman, and the first thing she sees, she says, "I'd like to," you see her, and like, "I'd like to say goodbye to my lover," and she's hanging, and she just says goodbye and walks away, you know. And I didn't really know again how I was going to play this character, and my first scene when I got there was with James Spader, and I didn't know James, but I had heard like that. I you know, heard somebody had told me like a story about James Spader, that he was not very nice, he was kind of a dick, and that like there was this, you know, the folklore of James Spader. Like somebody had worked with him, and he was like, the guy had said like, hey, and he's like, oh hey, and he's like, you're in my chair. I mean, like it was that kind of a story. I have no idea if it's true or not. So I was just a little nervous. And when I met him, he was like, you know, he looks up and he was like, Missi Pyle, you know my girlfriend, which was, or I think they were, Stephanie, that I'd done a movie with. And so he was really nice, but I still didn't know what to do. And so we became really good friends, and I adored him. And I would watch the way he would do his cadence. you know, and so I kind of just did him back to him.
Ooh, I like
But with
this.
no
Expressionless, yeah.
emotion. And he really loved what I was doing.
That's phenomenal.
It was really fun, and it worked so well. He's so much fun to play with. It was really
Yeah.
great fun.
And how about the elderly man with the mad cow disease?
Which one is that?
Oh, William Shatner.
Does he have that kind
He does. He does.
No,
he
he
has mad.
doesn't.
No, he does.
How do you know?
Because
do you say it?
no,
to get
because
out
I
of a job?
stood closer to him than you and I are right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to say hello to him, and evidently his eyes don't work or whatever because I was an invisible thing. I did not exist in his world. He just moved right through me like I was the ghost, like I was Dean Stockwell from Quantum Leap. He moved right through me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a vintage reference.
That was a
I saw
pretty-
a lot of Quantum Leap.
Pretty proud of that reference, as I just came to me. But you know, Kevin knows him. They have a relationship.
I think he was more interested in me. Not then. I didn't shit my dad says.
Oh yeah.
When I was a vegan, I was like 20 pounds lighter.
When you were a vegan, you gave it up.
Don't tell Alicia Silverstone.
I have that in my notes. Living with Alicia Silverstone made her a vegan.
I was a vegan for a while when I lived with Alicia Silverstone.
I have that.
I stayed in her house after I moved to. I married this guy who had a grizzly bear sanctuary in Montana, and I bought this. I had this giant wedding. I had a really good year.
And the grizzly bear was the best.
Grizzly bear was the best man at the wedding. I bought this geodome in the woods from some like old ex-cult members, Church Universal Triumphant, cut for short. Their prophet was named Mary Prophet, and they all went underground for like in the 90s because they thought the world was going to end. They built these like intricate hotels under the ground in like Montana area, like in Bozeman area near Yellowstone. But then it didn't happen, and so they came up and they stockpiled weapons. And anyway, Mary Prophet got Alzheimer's and they disbanded. But I bought this geodome from very nice people, and then I had to sell it because I was, you know, not making any money.
No.
I was living in the middle of nowhere, and I would get auditions for things, and I had satellite internet, so I'd have to kind of like get dressed from like here down, you know, and like pearls, and then be in my underwear.
Sure.
And you know, and I'd set the, you know, the flip phone on top of like 2 coffee tables and next to my wine, and record the other dialogue. Sometimes the flip would fall into the wine. Not even kidding. Because it'd be like, you'd have to put like, because I'm so tall, I'd have to put like 3 more books. And then sometimes I'd have to.
You and me both.
And auditioning with my, anyway.
And then you do the fake voice for your off-camera lines and try to
Off-camera
pace it
lines.
out properly
Yeah.
for you to put in your on-camera lines.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. You ever booked any jobs that way?
Not
Me
a
neither.
one.
Me neither.
I did
Fuck
get a
that.
callback once.
Yeah, I think
That I had to fly myself, I had to pay $900 to fly myself back from Montana to audition in person, and I didn't have given, so I feel like it
did cost you money.
cost me money. But I ended up moving back to LA after that. I had sold the house, and I moved in with Alicia Silverstone because she was out of town.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to have meat in her house, so I became a vegan for a while. It was actually the best I ever felt.
Oh, she ate the placenta.
She did not.
I'm pretty sure she ate the placenta. Or she did something with the placenta. Maybe she didn't eat it. But she saved it for nutritional reasons,
Oh, right.
I think.
Well, I think people sometimes maybe do some of that. I don't know, like
I'm not judging, I'm just saying she did that.
some a little judgy.
It's a little judging. Actually, I'll tell you what, it's not judgment, it's curiosity.
It is curious.
Can you talk to her and tell her we'd like to have her on the chat show so we can talk about
She's-
veganism?
So one of the things I deeply love about her is like she is. I mean, she doesn't give it. She's one of those people who just doesn't give a shit what you think about what she says. And like I am so concerned about what you think. I'm like, oh, let me make that better for you. Oh no, let's not talk about that. Let's all be okay. No one get upset. Because my father had an anger problem, but that's another.
Okay.
But she's absent. I think she'd probably do it if she wasn't.
Good.
You know, but she would masticate her food for her kid, and then.
Oh,
put it in
that
his
was,
mouth.
yeah, we saw that.
People loved that.
Look, if it works for the birds,
Right.
why can't it work for us?
I don't know.
I want to talk to you about music. Because that is a big part of your life.
It is. I've spent a lot of money making music.
Yeah.
And I probably made about 1,000th back.
You know what? You didn't get into it for the money.
No, I didn't.
No, you did that. You did not.
I didn't get into it to like sink my other career. Though,
No.
Financially.
No, look, Soul Plane keeps food on the
Keeps me
table.
afloat.
Okay?
Thank God.
The
for
music,
Soul Plane.
the music feeds your soul. Plane.
Feeds my soul plane. Oh God. I think it just snapped out of my nose. The music feeds my soul plane. I think should we just black out the interview on that line?
if I had written that ahead of time, I
Yeah.
would have ended on that, but I can't because I really do want to talk about music.
I'm sure.
When you and I first met, by the way, at the audition for the movie Jobs.
Oh yeah.
That was the very first time we met.
that's
And I was such a big fan of yours, and I went to say hello, and then you told me you were a fan of mine, and it fucking made my month. It really did.
There's no one quite like you.
Oh, you stop it, you. I
Okay.
can't.
No,
That's
never.
true. There is no one quite
is
like
no
me.
one.
So I don't understand when they say we're looking for a Samm Levine type, how you cannot hire Samm Levine.
I know.
Motherfuckers.
It is kind of a funny thing to hear that. I just went into an audition or a meeting yesterday, and someone was like, when I have been cast, like thinking of this movie, I always see your face.
Yeah.
This is what I see. And I was like, if you don't offer me,
Just if
I will run out of your plate glass window and take you with me.
yeah. That's better. Thank you. Thank you for adjusting that. Okay. So your musical,
Music.
I know it started when you were young, Southern Baptist.
Sang a lot in church.
Sang a lot in
Dad,
church, the whole musical family.
Lots of musicals.
Musicals.
Musical or people.
In college, you did a lot of musical theater, I think.
Did some musical
Yeah.
theater in college. Did some audition for a lot of musicals, and I didn't sing for like 8 or 9 years at all.
Crazy.
And then I wrote a song for a comedy show called I Wish You Were Dead, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
And it was about a guy who broke up with me. And then I met this actress, Shawnee Smith,
Mm-hmm.
on a pilot, and she was like, just for whatever reason, like she's super tiny.
Yep.
She's a major alpha, and
Yep.
if she wants to do something, she does it. And I'm always like, let's do this, but I haven't followed through.
Sure.
Right. And
the American
let's
way.
all make a band together. And Shawnee was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I really want to be in a rock band. She's like, I'll be in a rock band with you. It's not going to be what you think it is, but I'll do it with you. I've written a bunch of songs. And she had. And so I had written like 2, and we went together. We went to Joshua Tree with this guy, Chris Goss, and who was a producer friend of hers, and I ended up just kind of falling in love with him, and we recorded out at Rancho de la Luna, which is this whole desert rock scene with like the, Eagles of Death Metal and like,
Oh my God.
Queens of the Stone Age recorded
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's like this, and all of a sudden I got immersed in this, like, these super rockers, Dave
Yeah.
Ketching, and I was kind of blown away, and I would, I'd show up every day because I'm an actor. When we would go to rehearse, we would be like supposed to be there at 10 or 1 p.m. was when we were going to start, and I would wait for like 3 hours.
Sure.
Like, and then Chris would get there. He's like in his glass and be like, like he'd just woken up. He would do like scratch offs for another 2 hours. We didn't even start, and then people, didn't even start recording until 8, 9 o'clock. Then we'd have to have dinner.
Sure.
And just record all night long, and it was so much fun. I recorded this album called It's Okay to Be Happy with Shawnee.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is
then-
available for download on iTunes,
on the
among other
iTunes.
places.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
then
wonderful.
You haven't listened to it.
When we met, I told you I was a fan.
Come on. Really?
I told you I was a fan of Smith and Pyle. I know I did.
Nice. There's some good stuff. It's a fun album. And then since then, I've been working with another woman named Brooke Dillman, a girl named Jenna Price, and up by myself, recording music. And I've been working on my second album for about 4 years. I don't have Shawnee anymore. Shawnee had another kid, and she was like, I'm not doing this. And she helps me with some things, but she was the one who was the driving force
Sure.
of getting everything out.
Yeah.
For me, I love the process of it, and I love playing live, but it's also hard for me to, be like, do you like my music? Do you know what I mean? It's
Well, that's no different than being in it. Do you like my stuff as an actor?
right, but when you're creating your own thing, I think, like I just did a set at the Improv last night, or 2 nights ago, where I sang a couple songs and told a couple stories.
And is this the Tumbleweeds?
That was actually just me
Oh, just
by
you?
myself.
Okay.
I sang a song that I had just made a video for called I Want to Fuck You Up, which I did like a Seed and Spark campaign, raised money, and my parents are very proud.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah, and I just made a video for that, and then so I sang that song and I Wish You Were Dead, and told some stories about when I lived in there's this time when I was living in Montana, I'd come back to write, and I got in a car accident with Bobby Brown in the middle of the night.
Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
like you were in the same car, you hit, or you
No,
collided with
so
your
like,
car? and you
well,
hit-
you know, I'd moved to Montana to like kind of have this family with this bear guy, and it didn't quite work out. And I would come back in town. I was writing a script, and I fell asleep at my friend's house in the middle of the night, and I was like, because we were my writing partner, and I was like, I gotta go. I gotta wake up in my own bed.
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of how if I don't wake up in my own bed.
The whole day's off.
Right, and
Yeah.
you know, so I drive back and that cold water in the 101, and I'm going through the underpass, and the light turns green, and this car comes barreling out of the exit ramp and just takes the front end of my car off, and I've got my writing partner with me because I'm supposed to take her to her boyfriend's house.
Oh.
And we're both like, holy shit, and then these like 5 big dudes get out of this Escalade, and this guy comes up to my window and goes, "Are you all drunk too?" And I was like, no. Are you? I swear to God.
Oh my.
Are you? And he's like, no. And then this other like older kind of like doughy guy, like he puts his arm and he's like, "Hey y'all, I'm Bobby Brown." And I was like, "You've got to be shitting me!" Like, you know this. You know your life is. There's signs with Bobby Brown.
That's amazing.
And he's like, my sister's having this domestic situation. Rather not call the police. Even this witness stopped and was like, "Everything okay?" And like one of his friends was like, it's fine. And like peels that. And I'm like, he's like, "I don't have any damage." And I was like, "Well, my front end is across cold water." So 2 of his friends take the front end of my car, pick it up, open the back seat of my rental car, and just put the front end. They don't even ask me.
Oh my God.
And it's like 3 in the morning. And he's like, "I'll take care of you." And I'm like, "Okay." And we exchanged numbers, and then I went home to my friend's house, and we did like, and I told them about, I couldn't sleep. And then when they finally woke up, I told them I had a car accident. And then with Bobby Brown, we Googled my prerogative, and we all did. In the kitchen, like, and ended up talking to him the next day on the phone, and I was like, "Are you going to take care of me, Mr. Brown?" He was like, "I think you, because like you ran that red light," and he's like, "I think you jumped the gun." And I was like, "What?" And so he ended up not.
He did nothing?
Did nothing. But I do tell the story on stages, and so I'm trying to get him back a little. And I sing the song "I Want to Fuck You Up," and I dedicated it to him to.
Oh my God.
Oh, and the best was then his fiance at the time. This is a while ago. This is like more than 5 years ago. Well, no, maybe 3, 4 years ago.
All right.
I get a call the next day, and this one was like, "Hello," and I'm like, "No." She's like, "Is this Missi Pyle?" And or Andrea Pyle is my real name. Yes. She's like, I can't remember her name. I'm engaged, Bobby Brown's fiance. And I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "I understand there's some drinking going on last night." And I'm like, "Wait a minute." Like I was not with Bobby Brown. We weren't at Hyde drinking.
Oh my God.
Like I ran into his car, but it was literally like.
So she's calling to check up on him.
She was calling to check up on him, yeah.
Wow. Just any lady number in there that he called in the last
I don't know. I mean,
24,
I don't know
48
what
hours?
happened, but I don't think they ended up getting married. Or if they did, I don't think they're still together.
I can't believe a relationship built on that level of trust wouldn't work out.
Isn't it surprising?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's...
But yeah.
Oh man, that's ridiculous. And I'm gonna pick up that
And
torch
there's a
for
long-
you.
right.
And I want you to know that for every chat show from now on that we do here, I'm going to tell Bobby Brown he needs to pay up.
You know, I mean, ultimately, my insurance company ended up handling it.
Yeah, but you had to pay the deductible.
He owes me $500.
Okay.
And if you can just get $500 from Bobby Brown, that'd be great.
And then your premiums went up.
Probably.
So we're looking more like $2,000. I'm thinking $2,000 over 5 years.
20 grand.
Well, now you're getting ridiculous. Bobby Brown owes Missi Pyle $2,000.
$20,000.
Bobby Brown owes Missi Pyle $22,000.
There we go.
And I will not rest until he coughs it up.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
But now you do the Tumbleweeds with Brooke Dillman, who's hysterical.
I do. Oh,
She was at
best.
a small part in a movie I also had a small part in called After School Special, which ultimately came out under the title National Lampoon's Barely Legal.
okay. I've seen that one. When
nope.
was that?
Oh, that was 2001.
Okay. Wow.
She didn't even have any scenes together, but I just saw her in the dailies. I was like, oh, I know her. She's super funny.
She's so funny. She has a show coming out on TBS called Wrecked, which is a spoof of Lost, and she plays like the a sales director of Bing. She's the funniest person I've ever met, and I feel like she's scheduled to have like a Melissa McCarthy kind of like just explosion. Like, where has she been? She's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
But she's Brooke Delman, and we have a band together, and
Are you
been
doing?
working on a reality show together.
Do you have any more live appearances coming up?
Shoot, I just did. I'm going on vacation for a little bit, and I just I'm working on this because I did a one-person show at like
Sexy as hell.
didn't love that title, but it was a song that.
Well, you are. I'm sorry if you didn't love the title.
Oh, Sam.
Come on, Mizzy.
Okay.
Let's just get out of here.
Finally. It's very sweet of you.
So soon.
Soon-ish.
Where can people find out status updates on upcoming shows?
On my Twitter.
On your Twitter.
On my Twitter. Oh God, that I just gave my email.
You know what? Nobody's listening. Here's what we are gonna do. We're gonna bleep that before we upload it. Then we're gonna drop the audio out on that.
This is my cell phone number.
We're gonna drop the audio out on that.
It's area code 323.
And coming back from the audio dropping out in 3, 2, 1. So at Miss Pyle is your Twitter. Yes. Okay. Good. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is I was in a
My home
movie.
address?
I was in a movie that was nominated for Best Picture. And I was Inglourious Bastards. And I was
Yes, of
super
course.
excited. And, like, I didn't get invited to any of the fun parties or anything. Well, I got invited to some of the fun parties, but like none of the Academy official
Right.
parties or anything like that. But there was just the chance. I was like, oh my God, I might be in a movie that wins Best Picture. But it didn't.
Right.
You, on the other hand, were straight up in a movie that won Best Picture. Deservedly so. The Artist, which was such a cool breath of fresh air in filmmaking, so different, so spectacular. You are great in it. Everyone is great in it. What was that experience like?
I mean, because I was just coming back from Montana and I was poor. Like, not when I made it. But we made it. When we shot it, I mean, I remember getting the audition for it and being like, and I went in for the role that Penelope Ann Miller actually ended up playing, which was the wife. And it was just improvising, which was actually really fun. And I was improvising like,
Because there's no
and
script,
she
there's
was
no
like,
dialogue.
You can speak, like you know. And I was like, oh right. So and it was really great fun. I really loved not having a script, but knowing what was happening, and then I got the part, and I got to the set, and I somehow I missed that I wasn't playing that part, and someone was like, "You're playing the actress," so I ended up, being like, "Yeah, I'm an actor," and then it was like, "Oh, this is," but fortunately there wasn't any dialogue, so I was able to move quickly into my new role.
Oh, good.
And then I remember, thinking it was so fun because I was in one of the first shots of the whole movie, which is us in this car. Jean Dujardin, mon Dieu, rescues me from in the movie within the movie. I'm this famous actress. We're a silent movie within the silent movie. He rescues me from this, terrifying German kind of, insane, where they're about to. Who knows what they're about to do to me? And then we run to the car with a dog, and then we are in this Bugatti, and then we go off in a plane. And then I remember, as we're about to get in the Bugatti, they're just playing that music that they would play, silent film music, and as we're running towards the car, it was just incredible and so fun. And
Oh yeah.
but then who knew? I just assumed I would get a DVD at some point.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my manager was like, "Oh, it got into Cannes," and I was like, "I'm gonna go to Cannes." So I called my friend Christine. I didn't have much money, but I was like, "I'm taking you to Cannes. We're going to Cannes because when."
Yeah.
Cannes.
You telling me how long did you go for?
Just like 4 days. It was like $1 trillion.
You don't have to tell me. When Inglourious Bastards went to Cannes, I did the same thing.
Exactly. So
I thought I was going to outsmart the system. I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll book a hotel room now for like the whole festival, like 12 days.
Right.
And then once I find out when they're actually screening the movie, then I'll just change my reservation. Yeah, they're wise to that shit.
Oh wow! They made you pay for that?
They made you pay in advance the whole thing, no refunds.
It's like you bought like a house.
I basically bought a house. Although, if you buy that far in advance, I mean, I knew the movie was getting into Cannes like in December.
Right.
So if you buy that far in advance, you'll pay the same amount as if you waited until you knew exactly when the movie was screening and then tried to get a hotel room for 3 nights. So it was either going to be €1,000 a night for 4 nights, or €4,000 for like 12 days.
Right.
Well, we stayed like Can adjacent at this, tiny little, like €400 a night or something.
Yeah.
And it got a €40 drive to go a mile in a taxi.
But it was great fun, and I remember getting to when we got to the screening,
Which we had to like take a taxi, and these gowns someone had loaned us. And we finally get there, and I mean, the director was just like, "Oh, Missi, oh, hello," and Jean, "Oh, Missi," And
I was one of the only castmates. I just assumed there'd be more people there, but it was literally Berenice Bejoux, the director, and Michael Hasnavicius, and let's to remember these names, Jean Dujardin, and the cinematographer, and then I was like, "Hi guys," and they're like, "Well, you're gonna go down the red carpet with them," and I was like, "Wait a minute." Relatively small part in this movie, but they, I was going down like I'd written the film, Because it's this grand thing.
Oh, at the Palais, it's
Oh my God!
unreal.
And then you go down as a group, and then
Yeah.
there's 5 deep of
Yeah.
photographers all in tuxedos
Yeah.
on both sides. Then you turn to these people, and then you're wave. I mean, I literally felt like I was Miss Can.
Yeah.
And then we get there, and there's like a 20-minute standing ovation before the movie starts.
Yeah.
Then a 20-minute standing ovation afterwards, and like the rest is kind of history. Like they didn't really have another woman. I mean, it was like Penelope Miller, James Cromwell, myself, and I think because the French actors were so not known in America, they wanted to have some more Americans. So I got
Johnny Goodman.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but for whatever reason, I only ever saw him at one event.
Oh, wow.
And then he
Must
never.
have been busy.
And then I think I got his seat on the private plane of the whole artist experience. So I got to go to all this stuff, and it was just crazy fun to be a part. And then I wasn't going to go to the Oscars. It's also interesting to watch like Harvey Weinstein start a campaign because he bought that movie at Cannes, and then just to watch a movie being campaigned to win an Oscar. I've never been a part of anything like that, and I was like, I'll do anything. I just want to go to the Oscars, and I wasn't able to go. They weren't going to give me a ticket, and then I did like this red carpet green dress competition that Susie Cameron does every year to get a green dress worn on the red carpet. And so I was like, yes, I'll do it. And I was still a vegan at the time, and I went and I got to go, and the director called my name when he said, "I'd like to thank the actors," and he said my name, and I literally was like,
Yeah.
how is this even
It's the
happening?
craziest.
I was like, and James Cromwell and I were sitting, and Penelope were sitting in like the shitty seats.
Yeah.
But like every time they were like, even when we went to the Globes, they were like, you can only have one drink because you're going to go on stage
Yeah.
and win. And we just got so used to it. Was crazy. It'd be like, oh, put your shoes on.
Yep. Going up again.
Yeah, I think the only major award we didn't win was the SAG award, but
Yeah.
it was.
What do actors know?
It was great fun.
Yeah. That was the only major award Bastards did win. Was the SAG award.
I can't believe it was the same year. Yeah.
Uh,
I thought.
no, it wasn't the same year.
Oh, okay. I didn't think
We
so.
were 09. Well, we came out in 09, so all the awards from 010, and
We were
this was
2012
because it was a
okay.
2011 movie. Right? Glad we figured that out. Oh, well, you're not going to believe it. I've kept you hostage here for like an hour and 45 minutes now.
Are you serious?
I swear to you, that's how long we've been
Is
chatting.
anyone watching?
As it turns out, we've had quite a good turnout today, and I owe that 100% to you.
I don't know.
No, don't you be all coy and modest. Now, I warned you before the show.
Oh God, yeah.
You are not getting out of here.
Oh God, I totally forgot.
I know,
about
everyone
that.
always forgets. I told you, I lull you in.
All right.
So would you like to be reminded of the rules of the game?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to do a bad Larry King impression, not a good one. Second, as Larry, not you, Missy, you're going to tell us something about yourself. And we don't need to know. Some old anecdote, something personal, whatever it is. A memory that flashed back in there, anything you want.
Oh.
And then after you're done with that thought, you go to the phones, and if the name of the city you throw to happens to be a funny sounding name, it's not going to hurt.
I go to the phones.
You go to the phones. You remember how we had callers, live
Oh,
callers?
yeah.
So-and-so you're on. Whatever you want to do
Okay.
there. So when you're ready, that is your camera.
Okay.
And feel free to give us your larynx.
Guys, so excited to be here today. Here's something you don't know about. I'm getting older than I was when I started talking this. My family has a very unique, it's gone down the line for all the kings, on my mother's side, all the male kings, your penis grows, continues to grow as you get old. And I'm not saying it this way. Right now, I have been sitting here it has grown, wrapped around my thigh 4 times, I am urinating down the bottom of my pant leg, and the head is just grazing against the floor, this carpet where I'm sitting right now. And I can't actually get any kind of erection, but I can still feel what it might have felt like. Anyway, Tom from Poughkeepsie, you're on the air.
Making it look effortless. Look at this. You were all nervous about that. That's my top 5 right there. That's top 5.
You've only done this 6 times.
No, but this is episode 241. There you go.
Wow.
Top 5 out of
Oh,
241. Missi Pyle, I can't thank you enough.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry that it's over.
Me too. But you know what? We'll have you back. How about that?
What else are we going to talk about?
Oh
Mr.
my
Bluesy
God!
Again?
Here's your whole resume. Look at this.
on. I know, but a lot of those are
This is
somebody's short
ridiculous. This is outrageous.
Or
Look
half a
at
day I worked on
Look at all
something,
this
had one
nonsense.
line.
I had to pick, and it was like killing children. I had to pick what to talk about here with you. There's too much. You're too talented. You're too prolific in the work. And honestly, I'm so grateful. The show is grateful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Missy.
you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Now, please sit there for 1 second while I wrap things up.
Okay.
For the viewers. Well, somehow once again, I got through it, and I thank you, the viewers and listeners, for sticking with us and me. Of course, I want to thank our guest, Missi Pyle, one more time. I want to thank the spectacular crew, who there is quite literally no way I could do this show without. Dr. Kenny Chen, Mike Duman, Jason McIntyre, the wonderful Samantha Ward on makeup, Natalie Rosen, our social media maven, the wonderful Jamie Foxx, who is keeping Chat Show himself, Kevin Pollak Company, in Las Vegas right now. Of course, a big thank you to the two of them. Kevin, thanks again for letting me take a big steamy dump all over this show this fantastic Sunday afternoon. I am literally on my way to an urgent care facility to get
my
my
God.
screaming in pain pinky looked at. So that is it for us. So until next time, fuck off.